Well, a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to the daily flying briefing for Wednesday, the 29th of July. So what do we have? Well, the high pressure has started to ridge in, not particularly well, but we're certainly away from the fronts that we've had sort of earlier in the week and the slightly colder winds that we've been having. Low pressure is never going to be particularly far away, and as we go later into the week, we'll start drawing in a more southeasterly airflow before probably a more Atlantic feature at the weekend. But for now, probably the best day of the week. High pressure just established off the south of the UK and some lighter winds. Lighter winds we can see on the charts. Somewhere in the region of sort of west, maybe a little bit of south in the wind, sort of 5 to 10 knots. So good, especially for you, Adrian, as well. It's been a bit of a windy few days. And looking at the satellite picture, over most of the UK, well, at least most of the south of the UK, nice and clear. Some sort of more moist air higher up, sort of past Oxford, up towards Birmingham and into Wales. You can see the effects of the front out to the west, linked to that occlusion just off the coast of Ireland. And that will sometimes bring us a little bit of a headache, maybe if you're going further west or northwest later today. The infrared as well, showing clouds spilling in off Ireland and into Wales, but generally where we are and out to the southeast, generally one of the best parts of the country. The public forecast, or the Muppet forecast, as people have been asking me to call it, shows generally light winds, sort of 5 to 10 knots, and generally staying west-southwesterly all day. No real need to change runways at all today, which is good. And top temperature probably here of around 20 degrees today, and no significant weather for is going to ruin today. That broadly lines up with GFS, which is showing 20 degrees, maybe 21, 22 close to the capital, and maybe just off the south coast, but it won't be too long before a sea breeze might set itself up off the coast there. And dew points, I think, maybe just a tad lower than this. If we are going to see a little bit more blue, maybe more 9s or 10s. And not so good closer to the front. Currently, we have a temperature of 16 and a dew point of 10. The dew point has been dropping quite nicely. If I look out the window at the moment, we do have cumulus. That has been there since I drove in this morning. So that's positive in a way, at least for the start. At the moment, Farnborough showing sort of westerly winds with a bit of south in it, no clouds detected, and they're expecting today nice conditions with a few clouds at 4,000 feet, so good locally at least. And the potential flight distance for today, reasonably good. Unfortunately, a lot of it in airspace, so the epicentre of the best weather based at Farnborough today. But good out towards Oxford, some question marks going to the northeast of Oxford, whether it might get too moist or a little bit more windy. And potentially not quite so good sort of west of Devizes and maybe west of Salisbury. Good out along East Sussex. Potentially stronger winds past sort of Ringmer, so be careful if you are going to be heading much past there if you're in a slightly less performance glider. But yeah, potential ability to go around the TMA today as well. So I know Andy and Gary have been talking about that. Said Southend were on the news yesterday talking about controller training, so give them a go if you're feeling up for it. I'll come on to the NOTAM shortly. If we look at a start, I think some of you are wanting to start quite early, especially you, Mark. I know you're looking for quite a big flight today. By 10 o'clock, we should have here around 3,000 foot above sights. That only takes about 16 to 17 degrees. And looking at that, we're nearly there already. So, yeah, above sights, sort of 3 to 3.5 by sort of 11 o'clock. And as the afternoon goes on, not massively high compared to some of the days we've had recently, but reasonable at least 4,000 to 4,500 feet above Lasham. And fairly similar across a reasonable area. This is showing sort of more blue to the north, but I know there is more top cover linked in with that, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. Slightly weaker out towards sort of the Bristol Channel. and potential always for sort of some sea air incursion off the Bristol Channel there. As we can see here at about, what's that, 5 o'clock, we are definitely getting some signs of sea air coming off the channel. So worth keeping an eye on that. It might not be a day to arrive back at 7 o'clock in the evening like we've been lucky to have recently. But still really good for this time of year. Not really good for summer as such. We could have rain like it did on Monday. Looking at the cloud distribution is showing sort of more spread out towards the west as you get close to that front, getting a little bit more moist. The soundings look like that as well. More top cover towards Birmingham. But yeah, reasonable out towards Oxford, maybe out towards Cranfield, maybe just the northern tip of the southern tip of Husband, Bosworth. But yeah, good all round here and down into the eastern home counties if you get down there early. Strong climbs as well. We should see easily sort of 3 to 4 knots up to 4,000 feet or so above sight. And as we can see here, nice light winds compared to today, and top temperature might even see a little bit more of that compared to what the BBC was saying, 21 degrees, maybe even 22, we're lucky. And only top cover really arriving late in the day. So good for an early start and a reasonable length of day. Hurstman Zoo is showing on here. This is 12 o'clock. We should have reasonable climbs to about 4,000 feet above that area. Not so much in the way of top cover there, which is nice, and shallow cumulus. Fairford's at 3 o'clock, showing maybe a little bit more chance of mid-level cloud, but still reasonable climbs to 4,000 to 4,500 feet. Buckingham at 1 o'clock, a little bit more moist. This is where Top Meteo and RASP are disagreeing slightly. So going based off this, maybe not so good due north of here. And Lark Hill, sort of a little bit too moist again, as we say, getting a little bit closer to that front. So yeah, a day with a little bit of uncertainty. Depends what forecast you look at. It depends how optimistic you want to be. But let's hope Top Meteo is looking good. So yeah, good for hopefully at least 300 to 400 kilometres. I know some people are planning to go a bit further than that, but certainly I think an improvement based off what we saw was the potential for today when we saw the forecast yesterday. Okay, based off that, I notamed Lasham for a busy day. We can sort of do this at any point, but as we're going to be busy today, I know GA is going to be busy too. We are notamed active today with, I have to sort of guess the figures, but yeah, 70 gliders and 5-tug aircraft, and yeah, people do give us a call sometimes on the way past. I know Sandown's very busy with barbecues at the moment, but looking more generally at the picture across the UK, Solent active all day. That is standard now, so just give them a call if you wish to drop in. They are quite friendly. All the usual Boscombe and Bulford danger areas active. Fairford active all day. Little Rislington cold, inactive. I've not heard anything about Little Rislington today, and I don't see any note about that. If in doubt, ask Bryce. Gliding at Ayers Field in Dorset. Lots of paragliding. That's what most of these little circles are. West on the Green only active, notamed at night for this week. As always, double check of Oxford or Bryce if you are going to dodge through there. However, 38, probably the little bit of a headache. This is that parachuting drop zone, which I think was notamed for somewhere else last week and has moved or has just been reclassified. Parachuting within 3 nautical miles of Marsh Gibbon in Buckinghamshire, just east of Bicester. Active to 10,000 feet between 8:30 and 7 this evening. I don't yet have the times for this. I'm about to call the operator very shortly to find out. If you give them a call on 130530, they will have a drop zone coordinator on there, so they should be able to let you know. Oxford radar might know as well, but it is it's below a TC sector, this bit of airspace. So if they are dropping, it might be that the local radar units are not quite as aware as some of the London units. So I'll try and get to the bottom of that. London information might be able to help as well. Let's have a look. Danger area Showbriness out towards the south end. Any of you going around the TMA, that is active. The usual sort of danger area is active out towards the East Anglia region. 46, what was that? That was Stanford active all day. I don't think most of you are going too far beyond that. Cambridge active. So there's a glider pilot running that unit now. So let's keep everything good. Give them a call if you're going to be quite close to their instrument approach procedures. Other than that, I think it's generally quite clear of airspace. We will be looking a little bit towards the Silverstone Grand Prix. That doesn't have any red arrows. There will be some activity this weekend, so do keep an eye out. There is going to be some restricted area temporary shortly. We're on 27. There's no jet movements. However, I've just been told there's going to be some aircraft parking, or at least we're going to negotiate some aircraft parking on the end of the runway for this morning. I'll find out how many that is, and we'll set a limit on that, but it should not impact the operation too significantly. There is a grid. Please, if you can go on the grid, please go on it. It makes my life a lot easier. No low finishes over the clubhouse. That is being very much watched, and also no early wheel retractions, please. As I say, the tug pilot's life is in your hands when you're flying. Nobody's ever been killed in the glider when the tug crashes. So let's just keep a sensible hat on, please. And just let us know if there's anything else you need. I said 27, I said no different airfield activity other than gliding today. So enjoy, and we'll see what we get up to today. Bye for now.